What's up, YouTube? Poor Man Podcast back with another video. Today's video is going to be Potty Mouth Princess drops the F-bomb for feminism, okay? Before I get into this video, I am going to do the YouTube stuff, but please give me a second. This video was, in particular, okay, probably the most disturbing video I've done on the channel. And for everybody that knows my channel, I do cover some controversial topics. Now, so for me to say that this video was a little too much even for me, it says a lot. The original video, and every time you hear a bleep, I want y'all to keep this in mind because this is the censored version. Thankfully, I found a censored version of the original video, but in the original video, every time you hear a bleep, that is a child saying the F word, okay? So I wanted to just do that little disclaimer. This is the censored version. It's a little bit easier to stomach. It's still pretty gross. There is no abuse of children, you know, in terms of, I mean, that's debatable in terms of mental abuse with indoctrination, but let's get into the video. If y'all know the HBO special, give me the HBO special, the Help a Brother Out special. All right, hit the like and subscribe button if you appreciate the content, but let's go ahead and get into the video.
Pretty. What the f? I'm not some pretty helpless princess in distress. I'm pretty powerful and ready for success. So what is more offensive? A little girl saying or the on equal and sexist way? Society treats girls and women. It's our future. So listen up, grown-ups. Here's some words more up than the word pay inequality. Women are paid 23% less than men for the exact same work. And women who graduate university with straight A's get paid as much as men who only got C's. So bad grades equal more bank just because you're a boy? Hello and hell no. Pay up, mother. I shouldn't need a penis to get paid. Reap.
I mean, what are we doing? Like at what point? And I get it, okay? I get it. Feminism, they like to use a lot of edgy images. They like to promote distaste to get attention, okay? This is, from what it seems, this is what they seek to do. But at what point do we go, this is too much for your agenda? Okay, we get what you're trying to push. We're not buying what you're selling. So don't try to indoctrinate children to promote your message. All right. And you see this even with the LGBT community. They have no problems using little boys in particular to display their message. And I'm not saying that's everybody in the LGBT community. I'm sure everybody doesn't agree with that. But when I see a Pride Month and I see a child there with men walking around with shorts that are so small, they're hanging out the bottom. And it's highly sexual. It's not even about gay rights anymore. They just want to hypersexualize. And they're doing it with 7-year-olds there. I see that as unacceptable. Okay. And I think that many people would agree with me on this topic. Before the age of 6, anything before the age of 6 is a very, very sensitive time for children, and a lot of child developmental specialists and a lot of the research that I've read says that you're basically building that child for what they will be in the future. Now, those core beliefs can be shifted a little bit, but they're very hard to shift. Okay, after the age of 6, but. So with that being said, this is more, and not only is it indoctrination, but it's also just not true. Okay, obviously we've done the wage gap thing. We understand that study, that popular study that says that women make 77 cents on the dollar of men, it didn't even account for occupation. Okay, it just took annual salaries for men on average and annual salaries for women on average. It didn't include occupation. It didn't include hours worked. It didn't include overtime work. It didn't include how dangerous the job was. Okay, it didn't include time taken off. All right, women are 3 times more likely to work part-time than men. Women work on average 60 or 36.1 hours a week, while men work on average about 42.2. Men are also about 2 times more likely to work overtime. So, of course, they're going to get paid more. Men are more likely to work dangerous jobs. So much so that in 2012, a study came out that revealed that 93% of workplace deaths were men. Okay, when you look at logging, when you look at construction, these are all dangerous jobs. All right. And that's why they're compensated as such. If women were actually paid 77 cents on the dollars, companies like Apple would be switching to all women. They would be hiring based on cup size. That's what Apple would be doing. All right. But that statistic was not true. So not only are you indoctrinating children, but it's the stuff that you're giving them is just false. All right. Let's just continue the video and let's see if we can go ahead and get through this one.
And violence. Doubt fact. 1 out of every 5 women
will be sexually assaulted
or raped by a man.
1, 2,
3, 4,
5.
Which one of us will it be? So how many more women have to get knocked down before society stands up and stops it? Here's a hot tip. Stop telling girls how to dress and start teaching boys not to rape. We're glad a women's right to vote is here.
But equality's next step
Is walking to the car without fear. Beep.
And this is another, we talk about the topic of abuse. And I'm not gonna go far into that now because there are studies that support that men are actually abused more than women. The same study that says that a woman was abused every 15 seconds, that same study showed that men were also abused by their wives or girlfriends every 14.6 seconds. And men are also 7 times less likely to report domestic violence. Okay, so on paper, men are, in terms of domestic violence, violated more. And this kind of idea that majority of men are out to hurt women, and I say this multiple times, but this idea is just not true. Okay, historically speaking and currently speaking, men have been out to protect women, almost so much so that men have died on the battlefield by the hundreds of millions, historically speaking, to protect women and children. Okay, it's not unpopular. It's common in our society to see that in a life-threatening situation, it is for the man to sacrifice his life on behalf of the women and children. Even in domestic violence situations, the man is expected to not hurt the woman because she's seen as vulnerable by majority of society. And if a woman is in a very compromised situation, she calls police officers, who are generally speaking men, to protect her. So the best way to avoid bad men is to surround yourself by good men, because women are around because there are a lot of good men that want to protect them. Society exists as it is today for the comfort mostly of women and children. Okay? So the idea that... So a lot of these ideas are just not true, and they're being taught to children before they even have a chance to decide what they actually believe. Okay? Let's continue this video. I have a few final thoughts to give, but let's just continue.
Pretty. So here's the tricky thing.
Pretty, it's a compliment.
But here's how this focus works to girls' detriment. Society teaching girls that our bodies, boobs, and butts are more important than our brains
Leads us to thinking
our worth comes from our waistlines. My aspirations in life should not be worrying about the shape of my ass. So focusing on how I look.
and give me a book.
The continued sexism, girls and women's stale face. Instead of cleaning these girls' mouths out with soap, maybe society should clean up its act. This is what a feminist looks like. Girls just want to have fun, demental rights. $5 from each shirt goes to kick-ass charities.
Stick around, there's something coming up that I want y'all to see.
To make the world more equal for women and girls.
Yo, bro, when you tell a boy it's bad to act like a girl, it's because you think it's bad to be a girl.
That sexist shit. Hate.com.
Just a few final thoughts on the video. So not only do we see the over masculinizing and the implement of what's the word I'm looking for? Not only sass, but just entitlement. Not only are we seeing that being implemented into young girls, but we're also seeing the over-feminization of young boys. And what people don't understand is the worst thing you could do for a strong country, the worst thing you could do if you want a good society, is over-feminize boys, okay? What it does is it makes them less likely to want to take risk. If you coddle boys, they never go out and understand that there are consequences for the things they do, okay? And that is extremely important for boys to understand, and that's why it's great to have a man in the house, because that's what men teach: discipline. All right. Not only that, but if they are raised in a feminine environment, they're less likely to take risks. Risk taking for men is important because it builds testosterone. All right. When men take risks and when we when we face hardship and we overcome hardship, we grow we have more testosterone poured into us. Okay. And it is necessary for a healthy man. In fact, all heart attacks are due to men having low testosterone. A man doesn't have a heart attack unless he has low testosterone. If you do not believe me, go look at the studies. Okay. But this is how you destroy a nation. Okay. This is how you destroy the future of a nation. We have to allow young girls to understand their positions in the world, and we have to understand young boys to understand their position in the world. Okay. With them knowing their positions, they have a sense of purpose. What's happening now is a lot of people don't know where they need to be. They don't even know what they want to do because they don't even know what their roles are. All right. One of the reasons why people enjoy 9-to-5s is because they tell you your role and you go and do it. All right. So you should have that to some degree in society. There's too much confusion and it's making people very unhappy in masses. But we have to put on this smile and act as if everything is okay. And we're not watching our society go down the drain because a few radical, extreme individuals on both sides. This is the woman's side. On the men's side, you have men that are going to do the R word to women. You have men that are going to murder people. These are all things that are reality. You're never going to avoid these people from existing. But what you can do is shut those people down so that they can't continue to. We have a place for that for men is what I'm saying, okay? If a man does something bad like that, we put him into prison. Everybody agrees with that. All men do, all women do. But we don't have a place for women that are out of line. We don't have a place for women that display aggression through manipulation. We don't have a place for that. We don't have a place for a woman that brings a child into the house from outside of her marriage. She just gets a slap on the wrist and she walks away. Okay? So there seems to be a disconnect. I'm hoping that we could get that connection back. I'm not understanding what's going on here. This is completely disgusting because you're using children to force your agenda. That's all I have to say. Till next time.